is Tori, this is Novel Life. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm chatting about new series where the first book in those new series have come out in 2025. So my idea for this video was to just chat about some new series that have started out in 2025. And that means that the first book is out in 2025, whether it just came out, whether that book came out and I read it, or whether that book came out and it's on my TBR. I have a list to share with you. I will tell you what my thoughts are if I know anything about the books, whether I read the books, what I thought about them, if I think that the series are worth continuing. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. So the first book I have to talk about is Of Flame and Fury by Michaela Bridge. So this is a debut fantasy book. I'm pretty sure it's a start to a series. If not, it is a standalone. It is a new romantasy that came out this year. The audiobook is on hold at my library. I would love your opinion if you think I should read this or not. So the synopsis does say Fourth Wing meets Iron Widow in this enemies to lovers romantic fantasy, and that makes me a little nervous. I am someone who usually in a blurb, if it compares some big huge romantasy series to this book, to the book that you're reading, I get nervous because I'm like, is it going to live up to that? Like these, Fourth Wing is this ginormous fantasy romance series that a lot of people love. Now, I am intrigued by the Iron Widow. I have not read Iron Widow, but I've heard really good things about that series. Now, it seems by the blurb that our female character, she is raised on an island built from ash and shrouded in fire. So Phoenix racing is a sport that is just as profitable as it is deadly. So I guess her and her team are racing on this Phoenix, or racing this Phoenix, and I guess this tech mongrel takes an interest in her Phoenix and it leads to all types of secrets. Like I said, I don't know if it's actually a start to a series. So Goodreads doesn't say that it's a first in a series at all, or if it's connected to a series, but that doesn't mean that the second book isn't going to come out. A lot of people did say in their Goodreads reviews, oh my gosh, I need the second book, so that makes me think that it's a first in a series. But I would love to know your opinion if this sounds good to you, if you'd want to pick it up. They do have pink sprayed edges, which I love a good book with sprayed edges, so I always try to read the book before I buy the book to see if I actually want it on my shelf, because as you can tell, my shelves are a little bit full at the moment. But I would love your opinion on this one if you would want to read it. Like I said, I do have the hold placed on my library, so if people are like, pass, I'll pass it on to someone else, but if people are interested, maybe I'll read it for a reading vlog. The next one is A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. So this one I'm a little nervous about because I did try Stacey McEwen's previous series. Oh my gosh, I unhauled the book because I did not like it. I thought it was kind of boring. The first book is Ledge, so I don't know if that was supposed to be YA because I felt like the characters were a little YA, but this one says it is a stunning slow burn romantasy that follows a fated pair who uncover a world-changing secret. They are thrust into a violent class war, navigating love, loss, and devastating betrayals. So it seems like our two characters, they are raised together, but at the age of 12, they are thrust to a different city, like they are sent to a different city to discover their magical potential. And while they're there, they're kind of like uncovering all of these secrets and stuff like that. I have heard mixed things about this book. Some people thought it was okay. Some people are excited. It's her first adult fantasy, I should say. So I'm excited. I don't know. It says at the end, it says when Nina's first love reappears asking for her to betray Patrick. For the sake of the artisans, Nina faces an impossible choice that could alter the fate of their world. So it seems like it's a mix of maybe someone from her past coming in, maybe a love triangle I don't always love a love triangle, but recently I have loved books that are a love triangle. So who knows what this is about? Let me know if you are interested in me reading it. The audio is not that long. It's only 17 hours. I say it's 17 hours. For a fantasy, adult fantasy, that's not very long, but I do love the cover. So let me know if this is something you'd be interested in. The next one is A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. I actually did put this on my August TBR. I picked a prompt that I needed orange on the cover, and this is the only book that I had on my TBR list that I was like, okay, it has a little bit of orange flowers at the top. We're going with it. Now, I do know some of my friends have read that and they said it was okay. They gave it like 3.5 stars. It was average, like it was a solid read. I think this is a debut, maybe it's a debut. All I know is that it has chronic pain rep, it has a ballerina turned spy, and I don't know who the hero is, but something with that. I love a book with chronic pain, so I probably will be reading this considering it's on my TBR, but I always love to give any disability, any chronic illness, anything like that in a book. If it's in a book, I will try it, I will read it. Since I do have chronic pain, I want to see how accurate it is. is, if it's really prevalent, but specifically because this character used to do ballet or she was a ballerina. I love that. I used to dance when I was younger, and I just want to see what this one's about. So this one seems really interesting. I also love the cover. I think it's absolutely beautiful, so I definitely want to give it a try to see if I want to have it on my shelves. The next one I have is Arcana Academy. Arcana? I feel like I'm saying this wrong. Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. This is her adult fantasy. That's a first in a new series. All I know is that the magic is based around tarot cards, which I think is actually really cool. And I guess they have to like use the tarot cards when they use magic. And I think that's very intriguing. And it's very different considering how many romantasy books have come out this year in general. I love it when there's something different about a romantasy where something is different, like the world building, the magic, anything like that. That's intriguing to me. So I will definitely be reading this. My patrons actually picked this as a buddy read in August, so I will be reading it with them. I am very excited. I do have the audiobook, and I've heard pretty solid things about this series. I love Elise Kova's Married to Magic series, so I have high hopes about this one. I did not read more of the blurb because I just wanted to know what the magic system was, which is tarot cards, based around tarot cards, so I will be reading this one, but I am very excited. Now, the next books I have to talk about are all books that are first in a series, and I have read them, so I will tell you really if you should continue. The first one is Terror at the Gates, and yes, the end. Just yes, please read this. So this is an urban fantasy series, which I'm pretty sure that Scarlett St. Clair's other series, the Hades and Persephone series that I read, is also more urban fantasy, and I love her urban fantasy stuff. I think she does really, really well with it. I think she can create a very intriguing story on top of like a world that's already existing to where she doesn't have to really explain all too much about it. Now, it's urban fantasy in the way that it is like multiple territories in this city, or the territories have their own city, which is very interesting, but our female character Lilith Leviathan, which I say her name like that because I love her name. I literally think it is so powerful and I love it, so I say it in full because that's the respect that she deserves. Okay, now I will say with this book there is heavy religious talk about different types of religion, how it appeals to people, how it can be used to manipulate people. So if that is not your thing, I would say pass on it. I want to give that warning because I know a lot of people are like yes or no for religious talk in books. I personally love it. I think that what Scarlett St. Clair did in this book with the religious talk was very intriguing. There are some other triggers in this, but I will say that this character, Lilith, she is one of my all-time favorite female characters. I want to go back and reread this book. I read this at the beginning of July and I have not stopped thinking about this book, and I love when a book can do that for me. Now, the magic in this series is very interesting because females in this world are the ones that have magic. Men do not. They do not possess magic, and they basically marry off their daughters and stuff like that so the husbands can basically siphon their power and use their power because they're married or because their daughters have power or anything like that. And you see that she wants to escape that. She doesn't want to get married. She doesn't want to get married off to where her powers are going to be used by some man that she doesn't particularly like, that her father chose for her. And I'm like, yes, girl. Totally get that. Now she goes to a different territory where her father's like, yes, you can go here, kind of explore, have a year of doing whatever you want. So when she goes to this new territory to kind of have her year of just like exploring, doing it, whatever she wants, she is under the protection of Z. I don't know how to say his full name. Zarayev? I feel like I'm saying that wrong, but I want to listen to the audiobook so I can get his name right, but I'm very, very excited for people to read this book. If you haven't read it, I need you to pick it up because he is such an interesting character. He is like, I can't cross those boundaries with her because literally I promised her father that I would protect her. The romance in this book is so amazing. Like, please pick this up. Out of all the books that I'm going to talk about, this is the one I definitely want more people to pick up. I do not know when book 2 is coming out. The cliffhanger in this book was absolutely brutal, but also absolutely amazing. So yes, pick this up. Another book is The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. So I gave this book 4.5 stars, and the longer I sit on it, it's more of like a 4.5 star. I like this book. I think it's very intriguing. It's very fast paced. It is very much like, let's go on an adventure together. So our female character, she is Hafe, and you see that she is literally about to be executed at the beginning of the book, and then Commander Scythe comes in and saves her, and you're like, why is he saving her? What is happening? And all of these secrets are uncovered. Literally, like, all of these secrets are uncovered. So many things come out. Everything she's learned as a child is not what she seems, and she goes to the Northernlands and explores all of that. And there's like an only one horse type situation. So the romance is very, 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 very slow burn, but I love the elemental magic. So she has wind as her magic, clearly. entirely, and she's exploring that. There's also like water magic, fire magic, earth magic, stuff like that. So I like that. It's something different and it kept me going. I did like the world, while it is simplistic in just like the northern lands, the middle lands, and the southern lands, it's still relatively like complex in the way that like the political intrigue is there. So I would suggest continuing this one. I don't know if it'll be like when book 2 comes out, I'm like dying to grab it, if that makes sense, but I am intrigued to continue the series. The next one I have is Dire Bound by Sable Sorensen. And so this was indie published and now it got picked up. I think the Trad book is coming out in August. It comes out soon, and book 2 doesn't come out till 2026. I don't know if I want to say it's July. I could be wrong. They just released the date, but I don't remember, but I do follow them on Instagram now. When I read this, I was really taken away by our female character. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I love the world. I love the romance. The romance is very, very different. And I don't want to say anything other than that, but I did love the twists and turns in this book. I love the connection with the dire wolves that you have, of how they connect with them, how they choose their human to connect with. I don't know how to explain this. Like how the dire wolves themselves will kind of like weed out the weak links, whether that's the human that the direwolf is connected to and or the direwolf themselves. So it's very interesting. There's a lot of trials in this book, but I think it's done in a unique way where it kept my attention. So yes, I will be continuing. I really liked this book. I liked the writing. I thought it was good. I was very intrigued, so yes. The last book I have is Silver Elite by Danny Francis. So I'm conflicted with this book. So when this book came out, I read it and I was like, ooh, this is good, 4.5 stars. It's very nostalgic to me. It brings me back to my Divergent days, and I love that. I don't know if I would be dying to pick up book 2. Like, I am going to read it, but it's not one of those books that I feel like I'm going to run to on release day, unless they have teasers that come out that, like, give me some information. The way that this ended was, like, not surprising, but I was like, oh, like, this is where we're going. So they set up book 2 very easily to where it's not a brutal cliffhanger so I'm not like, oh my God, holy shit, I need to pick up book 2, like, right now, if that makes sense. So I did enjoy this. I think it is a solid start to a series. I just don't know if you need to like run and jump out and go get book 2 as soon as it releases. So yeah, those are just some first books in new series that have come out this year, whether I've read them, whether I want to pick them up. If you have other books on your TBR or other books that you have read this year that is a first in a series, please drop it down in the comments down below. I would love to know. I'm in a huge fantasy and or romantasy mood, and I want to devour them all. So if you've loved a series or first book in a series and you think I would like it, definitely drop it in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far and you want to let me know, leave me the fire emoji in the comments down below, because I don't know, I was just looking at an orange cover and it reminded me of fire. So leave me a fire emoji in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.